That's pretty good.
I moved the fucking bro, you got 950.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're here with Rick. He got day 2 at the NAWCQ. What did you play?
I played Branded. First of all, shout outs to the people that let me use some of their cards. So like Mark Nieto, who is one of the BBOT Gaming specialists here. He told me a lot about Branded, helped me with some of my lines. Shout out to Shanghai Sharks, who Cristobal let me use a Fallen of White for the event, which helped me get to day 2. I'll get right into it. In terms of traps, I am playing Etude of the Branded. Super heads up call in order to play around Fuelos. People are using it, Teller Knight, stuff like that was super big, so I wanted a way to kind of like give minimal draws into it. With Fallen of the White, I give this just one draw into Fua, make Ecclesia on their turn, and then I can summon out Albaz or another Ecclesia, really whatever it is. The only other trap I play in the main is going to be Branded Retribution, which is pretty standard. You want to have a way, you can loop it with Kit. It comes up a lot. I had a game where I resolved it 3 times against somebody. We were just not very happy. In terms of spells, for one-ups, I'm playing 1 copy of Branded in red, just because it's really good to have some utility off of sets for Albion if you hard draw Retribution or Etude. I was also playing Branded in white just because it's no points. You don't have any room for, Branded Fusion is 40. So we're playing this instead. In terms of like starting spells, I was playing triple copy of Branded Opening. So just because it gets me to Quem, and Quem is everything. So if I open that and I have combo, I just do that during the end phase off of like, add back Cartasia or something like that. Use that as a discard. Now I have Quem send Kit, and I bring back the Cartasia. So it's like really, really clean. High Spirits was amazing in the deck because every monster I have in this list, except for Oliver, was a High Spirits target. So it came up all the time where every time I opened High Spirits, it was useful. So really good overall. I played 3 Kaijus in the main. They are all mismatched rarity. See the shoes, see the money. It's 3 Jizzy Kuru here. Let me go ahead and move these. This is my slain enemy I had to sacrifice to run into only 1 Blitzclick. I had pretty lucky matchups. My losses were White Forest, Blitzclick, and then Team Sam, who was on the Sacred Beast stuff. And I just kind of got OTK'd and kind of didn't know that he could right deck my whole board, but he did. So that was cool. I had 1 spare point left over for the DD Crow. He actually won me a lot of games. I wish I had room for more. He's super good this format, and he's a wing beast, so he let me send room. I had carved out room for this initially for a full set of Fuelos. I just felt like it was going to be super necessary into Teller Knight. I wasn't expecting as much Blitzclick representation. Cerulean just isn't as good either in this deck because it's not as good of a target for Branded and High Spirits. So that's why I chose Fuelos. For like the little one-ofs, I'm going to be playing Tri-Brigade Spriggan's Kit and Spriggan's Kit. You can recycle them, you can search them. They are beasts that you contribute off of the Cockatorium, which I'll be showing off later. Really good cards. This is my GOAT, this and Quem, able to bring back anything that mentions Fallen of Albaz. So there's a couple times where I would send it, summon back Dogma, and then Dogma, because it's not on Fusion, you special summon Shuffle back 2. So you fusion it on your turn, Shuffle back 2, you tribute it with Cockatorium, and then Quem bring it back on their turn, or whatever it is, and you get an extra 2 shuffles. I played 2 copies of Ecclesia because of points. I wish I could fit more in there, but the 2 was enough. We wanted to make sure you had another one in rotation in case one ever got banished or anything like that. I also played 1 copy of Cartasia. Again, due to points, if I could play more, I would, but it's searchable so many ways, you get access to it, so you don't really have to do too much in terms of needing extra copies. I played 3 Golden Sword Soul, honestly the GOAT. This is a tuner, it's a spellcaster, so it's good for High Spirits. It also has a negate attack effect, so if you set up like Dogma with Ecclesia Engrave, and you have one of these in your hand, until your opponent can out the Ecclesia Engrave and out your monster, you're pretty much protected because it mentions Fallen of Albaz, and Golden Sword Soul will negate an attack and destroy the monster. Whisper can negate it, yes, but that's why we're happy we ran into so few Blitzclick. For normals, I will have 1 copy of Guiding Quem, insanely good card. It does everything. Everybody was extremely scared of this. It's only 3 points, so I only needed 1. In terms of more normals, I was also playing Aluber the Jester of Despia. I wanted to play 3 just because it's insanely good. It has its like little extra graveyard effect as well, where it can bring back and negate a card on the field, which came up about once or twice in the tournament, so definitely good. Now I played one copy of Tri-Brigade and Recourier, not only because he's recurable, but also because he's going to help me use one of the other best normals of my deck, which is Cockatorum, the Heavy Metal Avian. So this is something that a couple people were playing beforehand. I got a big use out of the Big Metal Avian off of tributing certain beasts that I controlled, like Dogma, like Kit, as well as just having it as an additional starter that gets me access to Fallen of Albaz by banishing this for cost. So almost nobody paying Ash, it paid dividends to start with that card over others. I was also playing a single Bestial Aliber. It came up with a 2 to the branded, where if you control this and a 2 to the branded, you're actually able to macro your opponent when they synchro, fusion, or tribute for rituals and stuff. So into certain matchups, this is huge. Really awesome guy. I like him a lot. He's also a tuner, and into certain matchups, you can summon stuff back from the grave using his actual effect. I played triple Albion just because, why do we not want an extra draw and an extra copy of Fallen Valbaz in the deck? Really helps for grind game, and summoning him out can help a lot, just to have the extra Dark Dragon. And then 2 copies of OG Albaz, pretty self-explanatory, because then the final card in the deck would have been the Fallen of the White. I had to give it back to the person I was borrowing it from. Again, shout out Crystal Ball. It was really, really good. It was worth the 30 points, and that's everything in the main deck. So I was very happy about main deck. Everything went really well. I think Blitz, unfortunately, is just a matchup you kind of lose. And that's how it goes, unfortunately. Shout out Girlfriend, being a field center, whole weekend, brought me a lot of luck. And then in terms of the extra deck, it basically looks like advanced. We play a copy of Mirror Jade, play a copy of Albion, play a copy of Sprint, play Titaniclad, Rinbrum, Alba. I was actually able to contact fuse an entire RDA board with this, which was really fucking cool. So I think that it came up. We'll play double Dogma, just because you want to be able to loop your towers if you need to. I played 1 Granguinol. I definitely should have been playing 2 of this, and that was something I found out in my 3rd or 4th round against White Forest. Not having the 2nd Granguinol lost me the game, and that's okay. I played 1 Borlode Furious Dragon. Well, you have Borlode Furious Dragon on the field with Dragon that Devours a Dogma, and you have Ecclesia in the grave. You can target this and something else. Since it tries to pop both at the same time, Dogma stays in the field, you pop whatever your opponent still has. Shout out this guy for telling me. We'll also play Chaos Source Dragon. I literally didn't summon this thing once, not worth it in the list. Super bad. This is what should have been the 2nd Granguinol. And then the MVP really has been Mixusha. Everybody has to pick up and read this card. It is Miracle Fusion on your opponent's turn. You are able to access basically anything in your extra deck in the grind game by bringing this out. And then now you have Mirror Jade, now you have Dogma, now you have this on your opponent's turn, and you're winning. I also played a copy of Lulu Lilith as the Granguinol summon. I also think that it was super good in terms of its negate, helping boost attack. It came up so much. Really, really good card. Then for my other synchros, I also played the Draco Berserker of the Tenyi because I could quick make it with a 2 to the branded on my opponent's turn, and its banishing comes up a lot more in Genesis than you would think. And the final synchro at only 3 points is going to be Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. Everything was great. I think, again, the only change I really would make would be the 2nd Granguinol, but everything came up except for Chaos Source Dragon. That is the extra. And then for the side, I had 2 cards that didn't come up at all. Everybody in my group was telling me that these are never going to come up. I should cut them. And I didn't. I did not listen. And I didn't side them in once. I didn't consider siding them in once. And it was a waste of 2 spots. It happens. I also played this for going first. The Brightest Blazing Branded King. A bit of an older trap, but it comes up in these niche states where you're able to get both Retribution and this into rotation. With like Dogma, you just play the War of Attrition into certain decks and you're able to win. And then we play 2 copies of Hate Trunade, just for like back row hate. We play 3 copies of Twin Twister, because we're playing Fuelos. We have the opportunity to spare discards, plus we are plussing every end phase. And that's it basically for like back row hate. We also played 2 copies of Swords of Concealing Light, just as an extra way to out bodies outside of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. These were essentially my ways to like clear up big scary boards, along with extra copies of Kaiju. So that was my list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And just as our first event, BBOT Gaming on top. Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, answer them in the comments.